This is an activation video for Grade 5 Science. This short film helps set up the experiment by giving direction, demonstrating safety, and clarifying key terms.
Well, good afternoon, Grade 5 students. Today we'll be working on Grade 5 Cluster 2 Properties and Changes in Matter. Well, young scientists and engineers, I'm going to need your help today creating what we like to call GAC. There's a couple things we need to go over first. One is key vocabulary. Another one is safety and how to protect yourself from harm while you are working. The third thing is the materials you are going to need. So what sorts of different items are we going to be using today? Properties. Properties are characteristics of matter. So we're talking about color, we're talking about texture, we're talking about elasticity. Stiffness is how hard it is to stretch or move a material. Shape retention is how well a material holds its shape. A chemical reaction is when atoms rearrange when you combine two substances or more, resulting in one or more substances that have changes to their actual properties. So properties are like we referred to earlier.
Glue, borax, water, measuring spoons, paper towel, and of course measuring cups. During an experiment, never put anything in or near your mouth. After an experiment, always clean your workstation thoroughly. The GAC will stick to cloth, so be careful around your clothing. And last but not least, protect your eyes whenever doing an experiment. So let's get started. I'll start by measuring 1 tablespoon of borax into a bowl. Notice how I'm being very careful with exact quantities. It's important to pay attention to that when doing a science experiment. Otherwise, your results will vary. Next, I'll add 1 cup warm water to the borax and stir with a spoon. I'm always careful not to spill or drop materials during a scientific experiment. Not only is it wasteful, it can be dangerous too. Now I'm going to measure 1 cup of white glue and pour it into a separate bowl. Again, I'm focusing on being accurate with my measurements because that affects the outcome of the experiment. Add 2 to 3 drops of food coloring to your solution. Be very careful when using food coloring because it can stain your clothing. Pour the borax and water solution into your glue and food coloring. Mix the 2 solutions quickly and watch as the texture transforms. What is occurring here is a chemical reaction, creating 2 different substances with new and different properties. Once you have stirred the mixture rapidly for 30 seconds, drain the excess water into another bowl. Now it's your turn. Work in groups of 3 to 4 and create your own recipe for GAC using different measurements of the same ingredients. Each type of GAC will be tested on bounce, measured from a standard height, on imprint, on shape retention when formed into a ball, and finally on elasticity. Stretch it until it snaps and measure the length. Now that we're finished the experiment, it's important to clean our workstation thoroughly. After the cleanup, students will be asked to discuss certain questions, like why does GAC stretch even though glue and borax don't, and how a chemical reaction works.